This is the story of a young Gambian girl who sacrificed herself for her miserable family to prosper. Once upon a time, in rural Gambia, there was a small village that was known to just a few. The village's name was Banta Kunda. There, all the Gambian tribes lived peacefully. In Banta Kunda, traditions are cherished, and every face tells a story. The laughter of children playing in the dusty paths, the women drawing water from the well, and the men toiling in the fields, represent a typical daily life that has persisted through generations. Yet, beneath the surface, the village faces challenges that threaten its very existence. This is Mariama, a 12-year-old Banta Kunda girl with dreams as vast as the sky. With a heart full of hope and a mind eager to learn, she dreams of becoming a teacher, bringing knowledge and hope to her village. Every day, as she fetches water from the river for her family, she envisions a future where education can lift her family and her village out of poverty. Her bright spirit stands in stark contrast to the harsh realities that surround her. However, Mariama's family, like many others in Banta Kunda, struggles with the hardships of rural life. Her father, Lamin, toils endlessly in the fields, his hands worn and calloused from years of labor. Her mother, Fatu, works tirelessly at home, cooking, cleaning, and caring for the children. Despite their efforts, poverty casts a long shadow over their lives, making each day a battle for survival. And this year is even tougher for them. A relentless drought has gripped Banta Kunda, turning the once fertile lands into barren wastelands. The fields, once lush and green, are now dry and cracked under the unforgiving sun. The river that sustains them is dwindling, its waters retreating as the days grow hotter. Without water, the crops fail, and hunger becomes an unwelcome guest at every meal. The villagers watch helplessly as their livelihoods wither away. With hope, they pray for rain that never comes. As if the drought were not enough, illness strikes Mariama's family. Her little brother, Musa, falls gravely ill, his small body weakened by the lack of nourishment and clean water. With no access to proper medical care, his condition worsens each day. His mother, Fatu, sits by his side all day, helplessly looking at him, suffering in pain without any form of relief in sight. With a broken heart, she sings lullabies to soothe his pain. To make matters worse, the old remedies of all healers in Banta Kunda proved futile for Musa as they could not save him from the grip of illness. As Musa's sickness gets worse by the day, desperation drives Mariama's family to take drastic measures. They sell their few possessions, a precious goat, a handmade blanket, and even their cooking pots, hoping to buy medicine and seek a cure for Musa in a nearby village. Lamin's hands tremble as he hands over the last of their money to a trader, his face etched with despair. But it's not enough. The family's heartbreak deepens as they realize they have done all they can, but it may not be enough to save their son. Unfortunately, tragedy strikes as little Musa passes away, his small body finally succumbing to the illness. The village gathers to mourn, their collective grief a palpable weight in the air. Mariama, very sadly, cried her eyes out as tears streamed down her face. The funeral is a somber affair, with the villagers weeping and comforting each other. The loss of a child is a pain like no other, leaving a void that can never be filled. For Mariama's family, the world feels a little darker, a little colder without Musa's light. Mariama, now 16 years old, with a heart full of love for her family, makes a heartbreaking decision. Inspired by the death of her little and loving brother years ago, Mariama decided to leave Banta Kunda and travel to the city, hoping to educate herself and come back to impact her community one day. It's a sacrifice that weighs heavily on her young shoulders. As she stands at the edge of her village, clutching a small bundle of belongings, she looks back at her family with tears in her eyes. The villagers wave goodbye, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that they may never see her again. Mariama walks away, each step taking her further from the only home she has ever known, driven by a love that knows no bounds. Soon, Mariama arrives in Banjul, the city, a place of dreams and despair, offering Mariama a chance to support her family. But it is a harsh and unforgiving world for a young girl alone. The bustling streets are filled with noise and chaos, a stark contrast to the quiet of her village. Mariama feels small and overwhelmed, clutching her belongings tightly as she navigates the crowded marketplace. The city, with its tall buildings and endless crowds, is a world away from the simplicity of Banta Kunda. Mariama's journey is fraught with uncertainty as she searches for a way to get a place for herself in this vast, unfamiliar place. Mariama got herself an apartment and enrolled herself in school with the money the villagers had given her. Even though older than most of her classmates, Mariama studied with much determination and progressed quickly from junior high school to senior secondary school. Mariama was a shining star in her school. In her final year, Mariama sat for the national exam and came out as the sixth best student in the entire country. A testament to her work ethic. Immediately after that, Mariama was enrolled in the best medical school in the country, and she was on her way to becoming a medical doctor. However, it was not long before Mariama's money was finished, and she could not pay her tuition and accommodations. In order to not burden her poor family and village members again, Mariama decided to hustle it out for herself in the city. Mariama finds work in a factory, where she works long hours for meager pay. The conditions are harsh, and the work is grueling, her small hands raw and her face exhausted. The dreams of education and a better life begin to fade as she endures exploitation and hardship. Each day is a battle, her spirit tested by the relentless demands of factory life. The noise of the machines is deafening, the air thick with dust and sweat. Mariama's body grows weary, but her resolve remains strong. She endures, driven by the hope that her sacrifice will bring a better future for her family. Through letters, Mariama keeps in touch with her family. Her words are a lifeline of hope and love. Each letter is filled with stories of her life in the city, assurances that she is well, and dreams of returning home. Her family reads the letters with mixed emotions, relief at her safety, sorrow at her absence, and pride in her courage. The letters are cherished, read, and reread, providing a connection that spans the distance between them. Mariama endures hardship and loneliness, her heart anchored to the hope of a better future for those she left behind. However, the harsh conditions take their toll on Mariama. She falls ill, but with no money for medical care, she continues to work, her strength fading with each passing day. Her once bright eyes grow dull, and her laughter fades into silence. The weight of her sacrifice becomes heavier as her body weakens. Despite her illness, she pushes on, determined to save what little money she can to go back to school. One afternoon, as Mariam was working in the factory, she felt very dizzy and fell to the ground. Her health had deteriorated badly, could not support her being anymore. She was rushed to the hospital, where she later opened her eyes. In a shocking revelation by the doctor in the hospital, Mariam was told that she had suffered from a chronic disease and that she would be lucky to live the next 3 days. Mariama could not believe her ears, and she started crying. Thinking about her family, her poor late little brother, her village folks, her dreams of going back to her village and inspiring the kids to seek education, it all seems like a mirage now, a dream that will never be achieved. After all the struggle, is this how it all ends? She asked. Unfortunately, the following day, at exactly 10 in the morning, Mariama took her last breath and said bye to this world. The angel who takes souls of good men had visited her. Her eyes closed, tears rolling down her cheek, and the world feeling a bit darker. Mariama started a journey of no return to the hereafter, leaving behind all those she loved and struggled for. May her gentle soul rest in peace. However, a moment before she passed, she wrote a letter to her family and village members. In her final letter, she wrote,
My dearest family, as I write this letter, I am acutely aware that it may be my last. My body, once so strong and full of life, has grown weak and weary. The illness that grips me leaves little hope for recovery, and I find solace in putting my final thoughts and feelings into words for you. I left our beloved village with dreams of a better life for all of us. The city promised opportunities, prosperity, and a brighter future, but it has come at a cost far greater than I ever anticipated. The long hours, the relentless struggle, and the separation from you have weighed heavily on my heart. To my village men and women, I long for the days when we would laugh and play in the fields, carefree and full of joy. The city's noise and chaos have drowned out those precious memories, but they remain a beacon of light in my darkest moments. I regret not being there to watch you grow the fields and guide the cows, to share in your triumphs, and to console you in times of sorrow. As I lay here, my thoughts drift back to our village, the place that holds my heart. The scent of the earth after the rain, the warmth of the sun on my face, and the sound of the river flowing gently by. I long to be there, surrounded by all of you, my cherished family. Please forgive me for leaving you, for not being able to fulfill the promises I made. My journey in the city was meant to bring us closer to our dreams, But instead, it has led me to this sorrowful end. Know that I have loved you with every fiber of my being, and that love will never fade. I pray that you find comfort in each other and that the bonds of our family remain strong. Hold on to hope, for it is the most precious gift we have. Though I may not be with you in body, my spirit will always be by your side, watching over you and loving you from afar. With all my love forever and always. Mariama.
In the wake of her passing, Banta Kunda mourns deeply. They had lost a daughter of the soil who would go the extra mile to see them in a better condition. But from their sorrow, a spark of hope ignites. Inspired by Mariama's dream and to honor Mariama, the villagers came together to build a small school. They worked tirelessly, each brick and beam a tribute to her memory. The school stands as a beacon of hope, a testament to Mariama's enduring spirit. A plaque with her name and a smiling photo of her adorn the entrance, a reminder of her dream to bring education to her village. The school, to this date, has educated hundreds of kids from Banta Kunda and its surrounding villages, ensuring that her sacrifice was not in vain, providing a brighter future for the children of her village, Banta Kunda.